All right, thanks for tuning in. We're here to discuss some sanding principles. I am Freddie with Simmons Industries, Superliner Speedliner, and we're going to do a demonstration on sanding. I've got a few different grits of sandpaper, and I've got a nylon cut brush. This is absolutely imperative to make sure that the surface that you're going to spray on is sanded properly so that you get good adhering with primer and then with bedliner. Here I have a piece of 6-inch sticky 36 grit sandpaper. I folded in half. I've actually used this several times, so the grit is down a little bit, but it still has a lot of life on it. This is equally a round piece of 80 grit sandpaper that can go on a sander that is an electrical sander. And then this is a piece of 120 grit. Now 120 is not heavy enough, but I'm gonna show you what those scratches look like. And then again, nylon cut brush on an angle grinder. We gotta practice safety. I'm gonna put on my respirator and my safety glasses, and then we're gonna sand, and then we'll talk about the benefits of each one of those pieces, all right? Going first, we're gonna have 36 grit, 40 grit sandpaper, then 80, then 120, and then the cut brush. Now, let's talk about the benefits. 36 and 40 grit sandpaper gives you the highest scratches on the surface to have the greatest adhesion. When you go to 80 grit does a decent job of scratching the clear, but you're starting to smooth the surface more than you're actually abrading the surface. 120, it gives you scratches, but they're not deep enough to have the proper anchoring surface that you would get from 40 grit. Now you come over here to the cut brush, and the cut brush does a really good job of getting the surface down and getting the clear, but if you spend too much time, you'll start to smooth the surface rather than scratch it. So what you want to make sure that you're doing is scratching the surface enough to have anchoring, and you can feel the scratches, how deep they are with 40 grit, and they get more shallow the higher grit you get. But the object of this entire process is to just scratch the surface as best as possible, as quick as possible, so you have a baseline for adhesion. Recommendations are gonna be starting with 40 grit and with cut brush. So these are our options when it comes to sanding. Again, best option, 40 grit, cut brush. Stay away from 80 and 120. They don't give you enough on the surface. This is our discussion about sanding, and these are our options, and this is what they look like. Thanks for tuning in. This is Freddie with Simmons Industries, Superliner Speedliner. If you have any questions, you can call us at 512-990-8808, or you can send us an email at info, I-N-F-O, at Bedliner.com, and you can check the website, Bedliner.com. Thanks for tuning in.